April is shaping up to be quite the month for the prognosticators of doom. A couple of videos ago, I addressed the convergence of the upcoming total solar eclipse and the many that believe it coincides with the Jewish and evangelical belief in the needed burnt sacrifice of 5 red heifers to bring about the emergence or the return of the Messiah, depending on which faith that you subscribe to. And these people are very, very serious. A link to that video is in the description. Also, there are many others that believe that this so-called Great North American Eclipse of 2024 is more than just an historic astronomical event. And for a variety of reasons, it's considered a prophetic event. For example, it occurs on the eve of the Jewish biblical New Year, Nisan 1. Its path runs diagonally opposite of the eclipse 7 years ago to form a giant X across the continental United States. Also visible next to the eclipse will be an unusually bright comet that last appeared 70 years ago. And very interestingly, its path crosses through an area that will see a plague-like explosion of insects. Trillions of cicadas will emerge in the biggest invasion in centuries that hasn't happened since Thomas Jefferson was the President of the United States in 1803. There are also those that believe that there is a secret battle between the Large Hadron Collider, which wants to create what they are calling a God spark or a mini supernova, which will create a wormhole into another timeline, and a timeline that NASA wishes to prevent, as NASA wants to maintain the so-called lower third dimension, where they believe the illusion of freedom thrives. And there are still others that believe that a fleet of alien spacecraft that is supposedly hovering around the moon will finally be visible to amateur Earth-based observers. And of course, after that event, full disclosure of alien presence in our solar system will emerge. It seems like everyone, from conspiracy theorists, alien enthusiasts, and religious fundamentalists, all have their stake in this upcoming event. I would say it is strange, however, many things are happening simultaneously, and I myself haven't seen a buzz like this since perhaps the Mayan end of the world hype back in 2012. But I would say the most interesting on those that are trying to cash in on the eclipse hype is that of the United States military itself, that released a paper 2 days ago titled Solar Eclipse Apocalyptic, but not in the ways you might expect. So what does this mean? Well, let's find out together. Hi everyone, just to let you know, I have some old favorites as well as new t-shirt designs on sale right now. Link to find them is in the description, and would like to thank you in advance, as it really does help the channel, as for years now, content like this has been put into an algorithmic black hole, as well as being demonetized. So thanks again, as well as I'm pretty sure you'll find something you will like. On April 8th, the moon will pass in front of the sun, turning daylight into darkness across a large swath of the United States, Mexico, and Canada, with around 180 million people living in or nearby the path of totality. It will be the most watched eclipse in the nation's history, and likely all of history. Colonel Will Phillips, writing in the Air Education and Training Command, suggests that most understand the risk of eye damage from staring at the sun. What they might not consider are the multiple perils created by the overcrowding of rural areas as millions gather to see this awe-inspiring celestial spectacle. Colonel Phillips noted that in the immediate aftermath of the 2017 eclipse, that it was unparalleled in scale and unlike any other special event before it. It even eclipsed major events like the Super Bowl, holiday celebrations, or parades. He said, at 5 million participants, it was likely the greatest special event in U.S. history. For comparison, 5 million people leaving the path of totality at once is like 71 sellout football games ending at the same time. This massive influx of people caused significant traffic congestion, with jams lasting up to 13 hours on interstates and over 15 hours on rural roads. George Chappell, who is Deputy Director of Safety at the Air Education and Training Command and an amateur astrophotographer, warns of the ripple effects of traffic congestion. Also, there's a high chance of significant communications blackouts as high cell phone usage in concentrated areas can overload networks, leading to unreliable service. He recommends having a plan in case of separation from one's group and suggests brushing up on navigation skills as digital maps may be unavailable. Moreover, that if roads are blocked and communications are down, getting first responders on scene in case of emergencies may take much longer than normal. So basically what this means is that because of the almost complete and total reliance upon the automobile as a means of transportation, what planners in the United States military are looking at is what they describe as an eclipse-induced dangerous infrastructure failure, or what they dramatically call apocalyptic. While I myself wouldn't hedge my bets on the arrival of the Messiah or of aliens, the creation of a God-spark mini supernova, or of North America being devoured in a plague of insects, it will most likely be a nothing burger. But I would, however, never discount or bet against the incredible ability of Americans to tear apart the social fabric of their country, and with it their cities, at the flimsiest of excuses. Regardless of what the US military says about a so-called infrastructure apocalypse, the eclipse will cause a lot of people to gather in the public space in an event that doesn't cost any money, and there will be a period where it gets dark. So then, pray tell, ask yourself, what happens in America when there is a free public event, especially at night? Well, I think you have your answer, so plan accordingly. And finally, I think the only real thing one can count on in the so-called Great North American Eclipse of 2024 is that there will be many Americans that will pick up their guns and will start shooting at the eclipse, thinking they might be able to hit it. And yes, I'm serious. I'm absolutely dead serious. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, please check to see that you're still subscribed, as YouTube unsubscribes tens of thousands of people constantly without their knowledge or consent. If you like this kind of material, please consider supporting this channel. Ways of doing so are in the description. And with that, I'll say again, thanks and see you in the next video. Bye for now.